Thank you for joining us today for the Aria NLG Voice Global presentation. We are very pleased to be presenting here at Voice, and we are incredibly excited to share with you how natural language generation, combined with BI dashboards, can achieve human-like interactions with your data using Amazon's Alexa. In this presentation, we will demonstrate how NLG empowers your intelligent voice assistant and enables you to have a real conversation with your data. Introducing Aria Answers. Aria Answers is a conversational AI platform that integrates with Amazon's Alexa and business intelligence dashboards to enable human-like, spoken answers from your data. Get immediate answers from your dashboard's underlying data by simply asking questions using your digital assistant. With Aria Answers, we have given the power of human language to the machine, enabling smart, contextual, and accessible conversations with your digital assistant. Discover a new dimension of data comprehension by simply asking questions. Eliminate the barriers to your BI data by democratizing insights and understanding. With Aria Answers, we've been able to bring together 3 different streams of technology. We have brought together virtual digital assistants, our foundational experience in natural language generation, and our innovative insight analytics within business intelligence. Aria Answers is configured to pull data from your live dashboard, such as Microsoft Power BI, Tableau, or TIBCO Spotfire, making it possible for you to converse and get insights from your BI data in real time, augmenting the visual analytics capabilities of the dashboard. Now that we've covered business intelligence, let's dig a little deeper. Aria Answers is smart. It enables your VDA to answer your next question before you even ask it. A VDA needs domain knowledge to deliver key insights and metrics without reporting every little fact that might be uninteresting or unimportant. It needs to remember and understand your preferences as an individual rather than responding in the same way to each user. And it needs to understand synonyms, idioms, slang, acronyms, and other complex language features that allow you to interact in a truly human way. Your conversation with Aria Answers is contextual. It remembers where you are in the conversation and where you are in your data, so you can ask follow-up questions if you want. If you misspeak or if you're misunderstood, you can reword part of your question to the VDA without having to repeat everything. Also, since Aria Answers knows the context of your question, you only need to specify the relevant part of a request, with Aria Answers filling in the unspecified elements automatically. Aria Answers makes data accessible. By understanding simple natural language commands, Aria Answers allows non-technical users to interact with their dashboard wherever it's convenient or whenever it needs to be hands-free. In the boardroom, on your way to work, at a warehouse, or in a hospital. Let's take a look at a sample conversation to give you an idea of the experience of interacting with Aria Answers.
Welcome to Aria Answers. Ask me about your data. Give me an overview of my sales.
Overall, sales decreased by $5.78 million from $89.58 million to $83.79 million between 2019 and 2020, or minus 6.5%. The main driver when looking at its variance relative to total was product camoweed with minus $2.76 million, or minus 39%.
Wow, tell me about my sales this month.
Sales are $5.71 million.
Tell me about last month.
In April 2020, sales were $11.6 million.
Tell me about sales by product.
In May 2020, the top product is Glower with $2.9 million or 51%, and the bottom product is Karadian with $175,000 or 3% of sales.
And what about last month?
In April 2020, Glower was significantly different to all other products, accounting for $460,000 or 4% of sales.
What about the previous month?
In March 2020, the top product was Karadian with $4.05 million or 76%, and the bottom product was Neutrali with $36,000 or 1% of sales.
How were sales of camoweed in the last 3 months?
From February 2020 to April 2020, sales were $21.97 million.
Okay, how about for Karadian?
From February 2020 to April 2020, sales for Karadian were $10.44 million.
How did they change month on month?
They decreased by $4.19 million or 96% this month compared to last month.
What drove the change?
The decrease was driven by Canada, France, and Germany.
Now, let's get into the really interesting part. How does Aria Answers work? In Aria Answers for Alexa, when a user asks a question, the speech is picked up by Alexa, which processes that speech into an intent, a representation of what the user just said. Although we rely on Alexa as the interface between human and machine, our flexible, layered architecture means that the natural language processing layer can be swapped out without affecting the remaining application. We have developed a chat interface for Aria Answers that replaces Alexa with a typed chat interface available in BI dashboards, but uses the same back-end infrastructure. The input representation is what gets passed to the next stage of processing, a back-end dialogue management module held in an AWS Lambda function. This dialogue management module interprets how to handle the question by mapping the intent, along with the associated metadata and conversational history, to an internal question type. This allows us to know what type of natural language response to generate. The next step determines both the content and specific wording of the given response. In this case, the content determination step would include deciding exactly which facts we need to include in the response so that the user knows exactly what they need to, and nothing more. If the user asked about sales, then we need to respond with a value for sales. If they asked for specific dates or locations, they too must be included. This stage includes fetching and selecting the data for the specific question from the connected dashboard. An example of word choice decision would be one that involves country adjectivization, that is, deciding to respond with French sales or sales in France. These are the types of additions that make the responses given by Aria Answers seem truly human-like. The final step is to pass all this information to Arria NLG Studio, our natural language generation platform, where the work of realizing the natural language response happens. This includes generating the text, but also any speech markup to handle phrasing, or special characters such as currency symbols and number formatting. I'm now going to dig a little deeper to answer the question how we brought this additional intelligence to Alexa, and to show some of the interesting features that we have developed. First, let's discuss under specification. When I mentioned context before, this is one of the key innovations that allows Aria Answers to be contextual. Aria Answers is capable of handling what is known as under specification in a question. What this means is that we can proactively infer the missing or unspoken bits of information that are needed to fully answer a question. These missing or unspoken words or entities can be inferred by Aria Answers because it has a contextual model of the discourse. Let me show some examples.
How are sales?
In May 2020, sales are $5.71 million.
How about in 2019?
In 2019, sales were $89.58 million.
How about in May?
In May 2019, sales were $5.86 million.
Another natural part of discourse Aria Answers is capable of handling is referring expressions. A referring expression is a technical term for a phrase that is used to identify an entity, such as they or it. Referring expressions are a normal part of human discourse. In fact, without them, conversation can feel very artificial. Let's see referring expressions working in Aria Answers now.
Which product had the highest sales?
In May 2020, the top product is Glower, accounting for 51% of sales.
How did that change year on year?
Sales for Glower decreased by $147,000 or 3% this year compared to last year.
You can hear that the system was able to correctly identify that they referred to the top products in the previous answer. Again, this wouldn't be possible without the contextual discourse model. Aria Answers has an implicit confirmation mechanism for the avoidance of repetition. This sounds complicated, but it's a simple idea. It is vitally important for users to be given feedback on how their question was understood. Without this, it is very hard for users to understand the context of, or have confidence in, any given answer. For example, the 30th and the 13th can be easily misinterpreted as the same. As a user, you need to feel that your conversation is cohesive and you are being understood. However, it is also very important that users aren't constantly bombarded with the same bit of information again and again. Aria Answers makes sure that key pieces of information that were either asked for by the user or inferred by the system are repeated back, but not every time. We want to make sure that Aria Answers always gives the right information at the right time.
How are my sales in France?
In May 2020, French sales are $0.75 million.
How about for Germany?
Sales in Germany are $1.03 million.
How about in March?
In March 2020, they were $0.59 million US.
How about for COGS?
In March 2020, COGS in Germany were $0.53 million US.
You can hear that the first time we mention a country or date, this information is confirmed to the user. However, on subsequent queries, we drop this information. The user already knows it. New information causes the system to start the confirmation process again. Without confirmations, users cannot make corrections quickly or effectively. This brings us to the last innovation I'm going to talk about: the system for corrections and suggestions. When something goes wrong, Aria Answers uses suggestions as a part of the correction process to help guide users to ask their questions in a way that can be understood. Suggestions are always relevant to not only the data, but also to the question that was asked.
How are my losses?
I'm sorry, I can't find losses in the data. I can only describe measures such as profit or COGS. Please try again or ask for help.
How are sales in France by country?
I can only answer a question where the group and filter belong to different classes. You could try asking about either sales for France, or alternatively, by country. Please try again or ask for help.
Help me.
Of course, try asking how is my profit or how did my profit change month on month? Choose one or ask for more.
More.
Yes, sure. Try asking how are my units sold in Q4 last year or how did my units sold change month on month? Choose one or ask for more.
Here, Aria Answers was not only able to correct the user about the lack of information in the dataset, but it also suggested alternate possibilities. I'd like to leave you with a glimpse into the future of Aria Answers, integrated with a unique digital human.
Leading organisations understand that the key differentiator is in customer experience and brand experience. When we engaged with BMW, it was really exciting to understand what their goals were around driver experience and rethinking the way that we will interact with machines in the future. For Unique, it's about looking at how does conversation play an important role in the driver and machine connection, understanding and predicting what the driver is going to need and making that really easy and simple for them. So we designed one-of-a-kind digital human who was integrated into the Series 3 BMW personal assistant technology, thinking about the driver journey and all the things that we could do to make things more comfortable, more convenient, and also informing the driver to ensure that they arrive safely. When we shared this with the audience and BMW, they got it. This will transform driving for the future, and we're very excited to be a part of it.
80% of businesses today are treating the customer experience as a high or critical priority. But how can banks that are so famous for having a high level of in-branch personalized customer care enhance that customer experience in a digital world that is so impersonal? So for UBS in Switzerland, Unique designed and developed an innovative digital human that can enhance that customer experience at scale. One was Daniel Colt, based on UBS's chief economist, to provide insights to high wealth clients. And then Fin was created to provide simple banking transactions like ordering a card. Both these digital humans were created so that at a push of a button, high wealth clients can engage and have a wonderful digital experience. It's famously said that you can't be in two places at once. Well, Daniel can, and he's making it look so easy.
Vodafone is one of the biggest telecommunication companies in the world. Brand is really important to them. In the digital world, it is so important that the customer service channels embody that billion-dollar brand as effectively as possible. She provides seamless, convenient and engaging way for customers to manage their prepaid phones.
Please tell me what I can help you with today.
She's available in Vodafone stores, dressed like Vodafone employees, and has been designed from the ground up to be one of their persons, from the way she looks to the way she talks. In today's world, customers are more likely to be talking to a machine than a human. She looks pretty awesome doing it too.
Okay, we've seen Alexa augmented by Aria. Now let's look at what is in store for the future. What you see on screen now is a digital human, and we are about to have a conversation. Aria, how are my sales looking today?
Today is shaping up to be the best day of the month, thanks to a $220,000 contract that the Irish office signed with Shell Oil for Sabre and Spartan. That contract was entered into Salesforce at 9:32 a.m. local time, so they probably had a celebratory morning. But you should consider this bit of good news in context of the other offices, and the month as a whole.
Oh, really? Sounds like there might be some bad news too. Aria, what is the bad news?
No contracts have been logged yet today by any United States office. In sum, the United States offices have contributed an average of $43,000 in revenue per business day over the past 2 years. By this hour on this date last year, the United States offices had already closed $54,000. The last business day during which the total was zero was November 22 of 2017. Of course, since that was the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, the goose egg was understandable.
Interesting. Aria, how are we doing for the month as a whole?
Overall, your sales for July to date are up 0.4% over the same time period last year. There are a few notable contributors and laggards. For example, in the United States, finance companies account for 43% of revenue. At the other end of the spectrum, healthcare contributes only 2%.
Aria, looking at the data long term, what are the positive and negative trends?
2019 sales to date are up 2.1% over last year. This improvement is largely driven by increased market penetration in the pharma industry, where sales have risen 4%.
Wow, Aria, thanks for letting me know.
One other thing, the southeastern United States offices might require your attention. Their total revenue year to date is down 6.2% versus the same period last year, exceeding your downside notification threshold of 6%.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My very smart analyst would have spent 4 hours getting me these answers. With Aria's help, my very smart analyst and I can have a discussion with Aria and with each other. The math, language, and domain knowledge are all native to Aria. The actionable insights that I just now gleaned from a brief conversation, not even reading, but from human conversation, are immediately actionable. And I can go call my regional manager for the Southeast and see what is going on with sales down there.
This brings us to the end of our presentation. Natural language generation, paired with BI dashboards and Amazon's Alexa, allows you to have dynamic conversations with your data. The ability to ask questions of your data immediately removes the communication barrier and allows you to receive critical insights faster, which enables faster decision making. Thank you for your time, and thank you to Voice Global for this opportunity to share this exciting technology. Aria Answers.